Celeste. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Hollow Knight. What do these games have in common? They're hard. They are very hard. And yet, there is a very select group of people who think that even these games aren't challenging enough on their own. And after finishing them over and over again, they attempt the impossible: to beat these games blindfolded. At this point in time, both Celeste and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out have been beaten blindfolded.
Yes!
And I cannot overstate how much determination these people must have brought forward to learn every single room in Celeste by heart, and to time every punch and jab in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out perfectly, and string all of that together in a run. But they persevered, and they triumphed. Which brings us to the question, well, why hasn't anybody done this in Hollow Knight yet? And that is a very good question. Let me elaborate. The platforming in Hollow Knight is quite consistent, and the only real variable is that enemies spawn in slightly different spots and walk in slightly different directions. But for a dedicated speedrunner, those obstacles can be overcome. The thing that really makes this blindfolded speedrun so hard and sets it apart from, say, Celeste, for example, is the bosses. If Hollow Knight didn't have any bosses, I'm sure that we would have seen a blindfolded speedrun of the game by now. But why exactly are the bosses such a big problem? Well, if we take a look at the Hollow Knight boss fight and look at 4 different instances of this same fight, we notice that while he does have his set attack patterns, the order that he does these attacks in is random. Which means, unlike Celeste, where you just learn the movements once and you can repeat those consistently every single time, in Hollow Knight you have to react to the boss's movements. Now you might say, well, in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, you also fight bosses with random attack patterns. Where's the difference? I'm glad you asked. The people who run this game blindfolded have collectively spent over half a decade figuring out consistent timings for jabs and dodges so their opponent can't hit them no matter which attack they do. If Hollow Knight was like Punch-Out in that sense, I would say yes, it is incredibly hard, but probably possible to beat blindfolded. But in Hollow Knight, there is a certain property that makes it insanely more difficult to beat bosses blindfolded. And that property, ladies and gentlemen, is spacing. Let me demonstrate. You see this Watcher Knight right there? Now you don't. Imagine you're blindfolded, and the only thing you have to go off of is sound. What would you do when you hear this sound? Now, if you are an experienced Hollow Knight player, you will be able to tell that the Watcher Knight just did a ground roll attack and jump over it. Well done. But see, the problem is that you have no good way of telling how far the enemy goes. You might get a good approximation by paying close attention to the duration of the sound effect and maybe listening for some wallbangs in there. But even then, it's not entirely consistent, and you would have to know the location from where it started its row. And in order to know that, you would literally have to keep track of its precise location throughout the entire fight, while also taking note of your own. And do you guys know what happens after you defeat the Watcher Knight? You fight 2. Damn it! Alright. Oh god. Oh no! That's not good. Oh my god. Oh, this is freaking impossible, man! What the hell? And this is just one of the several extremely difficult fights in the game. Just look at the Hollow Knight. He can literally teleport to a random location in the room at any point during the fight. So what I'm essentially trying to say is, you have no good way of knowing where the bosses are, and if you're too aggressive while the boss is too close, you will run into it. And if you're too passive while the boss is far away, you will barely deal any damage and die eventually. So it is basically a dice roll whether you beat the boss or get beaten by it. And your odds are slim. The luck required to correctly guess the attacks used and the distance that the boss travels for every single boss in a single run would make even Dream's speedruns look legit in comparison. So no, I don't think it is possible to beat Hollow Knight blindfolded. But with some modifications to the rules, it just might be. I've been thinking about how a blindfolded run could be done for a while now, and I came to the conclusion that it could only be done with some help. During the boss fights, you need somebody else to tell you how far and in which direction the boss moves. So I asked my girlfriend to join me for a blindfolded run. Oh, and if you're wondering why I look like those guys from Star Trek with the glasses on top of the blindfold, that's because somebody in the livestream chat redeemed it. So why don't you head on over to twitch.tv/TacoTV and make me wear crazy costumes while I'm doing crazy speedruns. I'll be live there right after this video goes up. But anyways, as I was saying, we gave it a shot to see if the theory that we had come up with would work in practice. And oh boy, it was an interesting one, shall we say. It was an interesting one. After we figured out what the difference between a medium jump,
do the same jump but a bit further, a little bit,
and a far jump is
also pretty far.
Same distance?
Yeah. Ooh, nice. Okay.
We were cruising through the start of the game. Hey, we done did it. There's King's Pass gone. Now we're off. Heading into the well.
Wait, where are you going?
Wait, I think we missed the well. Until we hit a roadblock. The Falls Knight. Usually, he is one of, if not the very first boss anybody fights when starting the game. And yet, it took us a long time to beat him. So long, in fact, that we decided it'd be a good idea to get Vengeful Spirit first and then come back for it.
Spirit.
Yay!
We also switched roles for a bit in the middle, which was fun. You're gonna hear him. As soon as you hear him, just go left. Left. Jump left, jump left. Okay, hit him right, Nice, you got him. Awesome.
This is so scary, man.
Okay, go all the way right. Nice. Go all the way right. And now hit left. Hit left. Keep hitting. Okay, go all the way right. And hit left. Hit left. Okay, stop. Hit. Fireball. You got him! Let's go! Let's go! But in the end, we came back, and after 2.5 hours, we finally beat him.
Still left. Okay. Ooh, nice. We got him.
And then, we went to Grandmother. And surprisingly, this happened. Alright, we're gonna fight now.
She's like kissing you with her little...
Nice. Alright, let's go.
Okay, right. Up. Yes. Right, left. Yes.
Holy shit!
Holy fuck!
Somehow,
First
we
try.
actually managed to beat her first try. And well, what a beautiful finish it was. That was the end of our live stream for that day. And you see, ladies and gentlemen, these are only the first and easiest bosses in the entire run. And yet, it took us quite a while to beat them. So, are the harder bosses in the run even beatable at all? To be honest, I don't know. Probably. But you tell me. There's a saying that goes, the difference between the impossible and the possible lies in a man's determination. And the title for being the first person in the world to beat Hollow Knight Blindfolded is still up for grabs, even 4 years after the game's initial release. So you just might want to give it a shot. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Taco out.